The quickening. One day, it just hit me. Whether my subconscious had finally cracked the code or I was finally able to perceive the information at the right angle, I suddenly realized the truth. It was like I leveled up. Acting, suits, they're the same fucking thing. In a split second, all the knowledge I had gathered about acting and improvisation crystallized from this vast, formless mass into a single beautiful gem. The secret I was looking for was in the tools I had already had inside me. I was hiccuping because I tried to create this thing called acting instead of relying on the personal and interpersonal skills I had been developing since I was a toddler. Lyndon was grateful to me not because I had acted well, but precisely because I had not been acting. Instead, I had clicked into one of my suits and let the experience unfold from there. But that, in fact, is what the best actors do. I had missed it because I had treated it like this big secret rather than something right there in front of me. I finally understood what it meant to be simple and truthful as an actor, and why acting is this art that searches for truth. For truth and simplicity are what bring honesty to the work and character. In that moment, I felt like a Highlander going through the quickening. I see everything. It was like all at once this immense store of wisdom downloaded into me, and my whole life became clear. My quickening moment took the form of two worlds colliding, my inner life and my acting life. Not only did I see that in creating my suits, I had stumbled upon some of the fundamental tools of acting, but I perceived the reverse, that the tools for the stage could be useful in the daily routines and circumstances of life. My suits were essentially characters, and my bubbles were a form of Stanislavski's magic if exercise, among other things. It was as if I'd spent 30 years on the road to being an actor. I'd just been too dumb to notice the signs telling me where I was going. Because of my inner life, I had formed myself into a wildly versatile being. I'd always been called a natural in whatever I learned to do because I appear to take to things so easily. All people see is that I'm a quick study. They don't see all the internal processing that goes on with my suits and bubbles, playing out scenarios and working through scenes. They don't see the years of strengthening my emotions and developing habits of thought to help me observe, assess, strategize, and execute. In other words, they don't see that being a natural takes a lot of work, just as I had not seen that this work was the same I was being asked to do as an actor. It was about more than acting. It was about how we create our lives using our imaginations and our bodies to channel our thoughts and emotions in ways that change our environment. It felt like such a fundamental reality of life, yet no one had ever tried to teach it to me. It certainly wasn't a part of how we educate our children. But if the thoughts and emotions we use on the performance stage and the stage of life are the same, why wouldn't the tools used for one not be valid for the other? Yet what do we teach our kids? We fill them with knowledge and scoot them along. What good is telling our children that they can be anything they want to be when we don't arm them with the knowledge of how to be? Think about it. We tell ourselves we live in a modern individualistic society where everyone is free to be themselves. It's true that each person you meet is like a walking supercomputer that has more opportunities to customize his life than any person in human history. But go to enough American towns, and after a while, you start to see that there may be a couple varieties, but mostly they're all pretty similar. And the people will fall into the same categories too. With a nation of 330 million potential scientific artists, towns should look wildly different everywhere you go. Instead, artists are still looked upon as oddballs while everyone else is expected to slot themselves in to the economic machine. The real pretending that goes on with our culture is that we believe that the society we have is as good as we can make it, that things are beyond our ability to change, or worse, that they don't need to. The real problem is we don't raise people up to who are adaptable to change and then support them through those changes. We haven't created a society that values the whole person more than their ability to be productive in the way that a big corporation defines productive. What if we raised future generations having a strong base understanding of their emotional lives, unlocking the artist within? What if we nurtured their curiosity and let that lead them to knowledge, unlocking the scientist within? The ripple effects would be transformative. This isn't socialist talk, it's human talk. We as a culture have not built a society that exists to raise up good people. Our conversations about education, economics, business, the environment, public services, literally everything we do as a culture are dominated by the question of jobs and productivity, as if the value of a thing lay only in its ability to generate profit. Nobody actually lives their lives if this is true. We know that some things are valuable simply because they are good or because they help us to be better people or live richer lives. Yet we let this profit obsession dictate our political, economic, and pedagogical choices. Instead of chasing a good life, we're chasing after the high life, idolizing wealth and power rather than personal fulfillment or doing good. The irony is that value is whatever you say it is, literally. If we choose to value personal growth and emotional maturity, then there would be lots of good jobs and field to help you become a better person. Self development is a painful struggle. It's easier to sell instant gratification for hollow effort. We all have an individual choice as to who we want to be. Society is the collective choice of us all. Sadly, I believe we are making terrible choices.